So I want to show you guys something that's extremely powerful that a lot of people don't know about. So look at this product right here. You can see we have two different variations. We got a white one and a black one. Now I'm going to show you what's in this carousel. It's me. Hello, here I am. Okay, so here I am on this variation. And if I click the white one, here I am on this variation. I'm in both carousels for both variations. Now, what if I were to tell you that I didn't actually tag either of these products on my content? I didn't tag either one directly. Question is, okay, so if you didn't tag them, then how did they end up here, brother? Okay, the ParentASIN. The power of the ParentASIN did that for me. And I'm going to walk you through not just what a ParentASIN is, but how I am using these to make sure that I am getting the most effective tagging without abusing the tagging system. So hang in there with me for just a couple minutes. I'm going to walk you through all of that. If you don't know, my name is Rob. I've been in the influencer program for 2 years, and I'm just some bozo here sharing my tips, tricks, and advice. Things I've learned along the way, both good and bad, to hopefully help you make more money in the program. So if that sounds good to you, like it's in your wheelhouse, consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you get halfway through this video and you find I've actually given you something of value, something useful, something that matters, then maybe also hit the like button, because yeah, I'm 48 years old, but I like when people like my stuff. I do think I am your Amazon influencer guy. So let's go back to that screen that I was looking at here. So I'm on both of these variations. How does this happen? So the ParentASIN is how this has happened. Now, if you don't know what a ParentASIN is, anytime that you're looking at any product on Amazon, it has a ParentASIN. Like, it has its own, right? So its own identifier, which is that B0 ASIN number. But like both of these, you know, this has an ASIN number, this has an ASIN number, unique. They're both unique. Doesn't matter if there's 50 on here. Each 50 would have their own unique numbers. But on this page, all of these here belong to a ParentASIN, which is essentially a hierarchy ASIN that encompasses everything that's on the page. Now, when you use the ParentASIN, which, by the way, on my new update that I've got coming on the extension, I actually present to you directly on the screen the ParentASIN for tagging purposes, so you don't have to go digging through the code on the back end to find it. When you tag using the ParentASIN, what you end up doing is you tell Amazon, you say, hey, you know, all those things that are on that page, they actually belong to this content. Now, let me show you what I mean here. On this particular product, you can see here, this is it. I only tagged one thing. Now, that's not how I normally would do this, and I'll talk about that in a second, but for the sake of this video, this worked out perfectly. I only tagged the ParentASIN in this, and you can tell in this case because it's got a range. It doesn't have just a price. And what this means is it's showing you both variations because there's a price discrepancy between the both, so it's just giving you the range. Sometimes variations won't have a discrepancy and they'll all be the same price, so it might just show one number here, but visually this ended up being a fantastic representation of like a ParentASIN, so that's why I chose this one here. So just to show you, I only tagged this one thing, and I only tagged the ParentASIN, and it resulted in 2 placements on those 2 carousels. It's just your way of signaling to Amazon, like, hey, anything that's on this page, this belongs to that. Now, what if there was 10 variations on the page? What if there was 50 and they're all actually the same product, just a different color or something like that? You can't tag all of those. That's tag abusing. And we've talked about that on our Facebook group and here on this channel. Seems like anything over 4 and up, you get punished for. So you couldn't tag all 10. You couldn't tag all 20. But with the power of the ParentASIN, you can tell Amazon, hey, these other ones, these are actually part of this overall thing. That's why the Parent is so powerful, because it allows you to have a wider reach and also just implicate. So imagine this. Let's say that let's do this. Let's go back to this page here. And let's say that I had only tagged the white one, right? And I tagged one thing and it was the white one. So there was a white one and a black one. But sometimes variations go out of stock, right? And so what would happen in this particular case is if the white one went out of stock and this was the only one I tagged, the listing would still be live. This one would still be here. And unless Amazon, out of the goodness of their heart, had automatically added me to that other carousel, I'm probably going to lose all sales for this, even though the listing is technically still active. But if the white one went away and I had also tagged a parent, then when that white one goes away, my parent is still intact. It's not as good as having a direct also, but it still keeps me connected to this listing, which means it still gives me a chance to show up in the carousel, which means it still gives me a chance to make commissions. So that leads me to my next point, is whenever I tag a parent, I'm always tagging something directly to. I never just do the parent. So typically my routine is I tag the primary item first. So in this particular case, I tag the white one because that's the one I got. And then secondarily, I'll tag the parent over the top of it to make sure it sort of connects to everything else that's potentially on the page. It's not a guarantee that Amazon's going to honor that, but as you just saw in this particular instance, it honored it, right? It showed right here on the screen. It put me in both upper carousels. Now, there are a couple of caveats whenever you're talking about ParentASIN tagging. One is part of the reason that should not be your only tagging is because parent ASINs are not treated equally in creator connections. Creator connections typically only prioritizes direct ASINs. So like whatever this ASIN is, whatever this ASIN is, I don't even know if these are on creator connections, but just for the sake of argument, it doesn't typically honor parent ASINs, or at least I have not seen that. So you wouldn't want to just tag only the parent ASIN on your thing, because then it may not get treated the same in creator connections. Like whenever my extension grabs your ASIN and it's just a parent and goes to check it, it probably won't find a campaign, even if there is actually one for these right here. So that's why I do both. I prioritize direct tagging for one item, whatever the one is I've actually got in my hand, that same variation, the same everything, and then I'll do a secondary parent tagging on top of that. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. First is just give you an explanation of what a parent actually does and why, if you started to try to implement this, it can be extremely helpful. And also imagine this. Sometimes brands will have multiple variations on a product, especially like supplements. They have 30 count, 60 count, 90 count, 120 count. And you can't tag all four of those. You're going to get punished for doing that. But you could tag the primary one, or even tag the one that's selling the most. It's all the same supplement. So whichever volume is selling the most per month, and then do a parent tag on top of that. And then maybe they've got another listing that has the exact same product. Sometimes those big brands do that. They'll have another one that's the same product, but a completely different listing. And you can still probably add that one on top and not go over the 4 limit that we talked about before. So you guys play around with this. Let me know what you think. The parent can be extremely powerful. It's not a guarantee, but from my experience, and as you just saw in this particular demonstration, it does seem that Amazon honors the parent and looking at it and going, okay, they want this connected to all of these things. Let's go ahead and do that. So let me know how it goes. I hope this was helpful. And again, if it was, now is the time that you would hit the subscribe. And if you haven't already hit the like, do both of those things. Bunch of links in the description below. Link to the microphone down below. Thank you guys very much for the support. Free extension. We'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.